What's going on? It's early in the morning. Not gonna lie to you, a little cross-eyed. I think I would be remiss if I didn't say I almost had a come to Jesus moment today with myself, where Rory McIlroy hit that. What was it? Probably a 3-wood into, I believe it was number 10. He had about 5 feet for eagle, and I was like, holy shit, Rory's no longer a fucking loser. What am I gonna do? And then he proceeded this hole back 9 to remind me. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's a huge loser, and that guy will just always let you down. It's incredible. He can just look like a god, unstoppable, and just falls apart. He's just a true fucking loser. Him, Patrick Rogers. I'm still trying to figure out the rest of my Mount Rushmore of just biggest fucking losers, but they got to be there. What's up, new guy? I'm the DeGenerate75. I'm a PGA DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at PGA DFS. If you don't know, I'm not going to give you a single pick. I'm going to help you with the process, give you a couple pointers, and hopefully get you to quit stepping on your own dick. If you find you like the cut of my jib, I encourage you to come check out that schedule, because next week is a major, and we're going to be busy. So tomorrow, actually later today, be looking out for my course preview show. I'll do that after I take a long effing nap. I'm going to be doing DGen75 talks sports with smart people, and of course I had to get a bloody British guy on because, you know, it's the Open Bloody Championship. So I got my dude Tom Jacobs to come on. Be looking out for that Sunday. Of course, the emergency stream every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Lord's time zone. And then I will be doing round 2, round 3, and round 4 Showdown Hoedown live next week, probably early like this one, right? And yes, there will be a Sunday Sweat show. We do it for the majors now. Still working on finding my locking down a guest, but there'll be somebody. It's not just going to be me, okay? So there you go. That is the schedule. I will give you some good historical round 4 scores, and we'll talk a little pick'ems. Hang around till the end. Also at the end, I will be giving away a ticket to be building with me tomorrow for the $100,000 main event. So simply get a question over here in the chat, and that will just put a question mark, and that will qualify you to be in it at the end. Okay, and don't spam it with 50 questions. All right, I want to go take a nap. All right, let's start out with my favorite site. I'm just going to tell you, Cut Sweats is the best site out there. Everybody thinks, oh, yeah, man, that's that 6-6 site. Yeah, that is one of the things it does. But here's what's really cool, right? After yesterday's round completed, Cut Sweats runs the simulations of all your lineups. And you can see in the 50K driver, I guess is what it's called. I think it's a $100 single entry, $200 single entry, whatever it is. It gave me a 2% win equity, right? Which may not sound like a lot, but when you think that there's hundreds of people in it, and I have, you know, a 1 in 50 chance, well, that's pretty good, right? And I had a 6-6, and not a lot of people had a 6-6. And then I had guys like Luke List and Woodland, and guys kind of go ham today, and I'm all the way up into the top 10. So I can't wait until he updates this in a little bit, so I can go look and see what my win equity is, right? See if maybe I have a 5, 10, 20% chance of winning tomorrow. It kind of helps you gauge how big of a sweat you have going into each round. I think it adds a whole level of excitement to it. And he also does it during the round, right? Like today in the $100 single entry, I got up to like 40% to win. And then Rory said, hey, I got an idea. How about I just fucking kill that? You know, you got to give Rory credit. The man got there. He got there, right? So we ended up, min cashing probably. But it shows you in real time how real your showdown sweats are, right? I was at one point, you know, like at the peak of the day, all my scrubs were going off. All the guys I faded were spinning their wheels. I was like, holy shit, I'm going to win every GPP. It did not, the last hour has not panned out well for me, but it was still cool to be seeing that and knowing how much of a sweat I have. If you want to try it out, you get half off your first month. You simply use my code DeGenerate75, all caps, get you half off, okay? All right, let's talk about what we saw today. Well, we saw the weather forecast must have just been a little off, because it looked windier out there than what they said it was going to be, right? By the way, Nick Taylor just made another birdie. Another birdie! Let's go, you mother father. I love Nick Taylor. Man, if he finishes with a streak, he will literally be the nuts play today. Wait, he already has a streak. Never mind. Sorry, getting a little sidetracked. Nick Taylor, I'll talk about him in a little bit, right? How the hell do you know to play Nick Taylor? Oh, you wait, my friend. All right, the course today, it was relatively easy. A shot and a half under par is definitively easier than the first 2 days we saw. You also have to factor in all the slapdicks weren't playing, right? It was just the, 77 guys that made the cut. That's also going to increase it, but the course was very soft. The winds were more than I thought, but still not too bad, and there's just a lot of birdie holes out there, right? It's like, you know, it's just very easy. 3 through 6 and 10 through 16, very gettable holes, and guys were getting after them, right? And the biggest thing is outside of 18, it really didn't seem like any hole really seemed like a birdie hole. I see some of these holes playing over par, but it still seemed like you had to do some real assholery to make a bogey anywhere than 18. 18, there were a lot of guys who weren't even really doing anything wrong and still making bogeys. I think this is very very relevant of what we need to see or what we need to consider for tomorrow, because if we already have 7 holes playing over par whenever the conditions were essentially perfect today, wait until you see this weather forecast here in a little bit, and you're going to see that I think that there might be no more than 2 holes that play under par tomorrow. I'm predicting carnage, right? I don't think that's a real bold take, but that's what I'm doing, right? So we'll get back to that, but that is a rundown of how the course has played so far today. Let's get over and look at the contest for tomorrow. They suck. This is what they do. They're bumping it up. They can see that people are excited. So that, I get excited to see 300,000 in the main contest tomorrow, right? But it's a third to first. You guys know how I feel. A third to first, I'm just auto out. The 555, which is normally one that I love, the signature hole, it's a third to first. So automatically you can mark those 2 out. The 254 max is a really great format, and I love it, but that's out of the price range of most of you guys. And then you're like, well, I could go play in that $5, but look, the $5 is 28% to first. Second place is only 30% of first place. Fuck that. I'm not playing in that. That sucks. $100 single entry is fine. Even my $10 18 max, my baby, they bastardized. Oh, wait, no, they didn't. What the fuck am I talking about? It's only 10%. I swear I saw 5,000 when I looked earlier. Dude, I must be tripping balls. I'm getting tired. So yeah, I take it back. It's still a good format. I apologize. You did not bastardize my contest. So what are you playing tomorrow? I think you just try to follow those rules, right? Try to find contests that have less than 20% going to first. Second is half of first or more, and 10th place is around 10%. That's always going to be your goal. These $1 maxes, the $5 single entry, the $12 single entry, $33 single entry, those are always good ones to get into, right? I'm just telling you, like, if you ever knew the math on this, there are a lot of guys. I would guess somewhere around 20 to 30 guys will max this tomorrow. 150 lineups at $25 a piece. So what is that? $3,750. About 95% of those people will get negative money back on that, right? So just know that that is a very, very negative. If the very best guys who can afford to put $3,750 into it, 95% of them are going to lose. Just let you know how negative EV these tournaments are on a single slate basis, right? They do stuff over the long term, so they don't have to look at it in a single slate basis. But for you, guy who's burning through all your money, you should be looking at it. But of course, the one contest you should get in is mine. Go get in it right now. I do not want to be stressing tonight to fill this shit. It's got 161 of 500 people. It is my contest. Top 5 people. Not only do you win like 500, 400, good money, right? They're good prizes up there, but you'll also get a free month on the website if you're not already over there, right? So go get in that. Reserve your spots. It's a 3 max $5. It's awesome format. Hopefully you can afford to play in it. Hey, while I got you here, make sure to drop a like and subscribe me and the editor, just a couple independent fucks. And when you turn on that little notification and like and subscribe and tell friends about our videos, it helps us out so much because YouTube ain't going to share our shit. We really appreciate you, okay? All right, let's get over. I'm actually going to look at all the weather forecasts because here is the win for tomorrow. Have you ever seen so much orange in your life? Orange, right? It's going to be spicy. We do have to consider that they might go off in threes tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure the only reason they went off in threes today is because there was a chance at some thunderstorms around 3 o'clock local time. I don't think they're going to send them out in threes to try to avoid the weather because, A, I don't think that they're really worried about wind the same way they would be worried about lightning, and B, there is no way to hide from the wind tomorrow. It's going to be there from the second the first guys get on the course. It's going to be there all effing day, and I mean spicy. Spicy, spicy, spicy. So, the good thing it's been raining there, or literally the balls will probably be getting blown off the greens tomorrow, right? So, there you go. That is all of them. But let's specifically go look at every country makes weather forecasts, and let's see what it says. And it basically says, I assume they're going to be out on the course around 7 a.m., and when the first guys tee off, it will be nice and cool with sustained 22-mile-an-hour winds with 30-mile-an-hour gusts. That'd be windy as shit, bruh. And it's going to pick up by the time the leaders tee off. This is assuming they're going off in twos, which I get it. With the DP and the PGA, you should never fucking assume. But we're going to make that assumption here for the sake of prediction, right? When the leaders go off around 1 or 2 o'clock, we are talking 29-mile-an-hour sustained winds, 43-mile-an-hour gust. It is going to be the most fun thing you've ever seen. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Oh God, it's going to be carnage tomorrow. I really think you'll see if these forecasts, because once again, the forecasts I thought today were a little off. I thought the wind was blowing more than the projections had shown. So hopefully we see that again tomorrow. I think you're going to see an average score over par, right? Which is kind of a bold claim in seeing it play 1.5 under par, but I'm going to go as far as to say I think you will see it play at least 1.5 over over par tomorrow. That would be my guess. So a full three stroke difference. And if you're over there, if you're one of those underdog pick'em bros, you got to get over there. And I would be smashing the over on bogeys and strokes, especially if those fucking morons put out some soft lines right around par, right? Because if you shoot par tomorrow, that's going to be a real good score. So what do we do with this? Well, I think there's two big takeaways in this. A, I do think the earlier a guy is out, the better it will be, right? It will be when the course is the softest, which I think it's going to be relatively soft. But with the wind blowing like that and the sun peeking out around, 9 a.m., it will get a little crustier throughout the day. That is definitely going to happen. But the other big takeaway, and I think the more important one that we need to talk about as far as theory goes, is now position points become infinitely more important, right? I think you almost are certainly going to have the winner of this tournament tomorrow. The tricky thing about that is everybody's just going to go play the leader, which I assume is still Rory. I don't know. I haven't seen what that fucking loser did on 18 yet. But let's say it's Rory, right? Everybody is going to want to play him because he, quote unquote, is going to get you those safe points, right? Those 13 position points when he wins. But what people are really going to overplay tomorrow is they're going to take all these guys in the top 10 because of their perceived safe points, those built-in bonus points for where they are positioned, and they're forgetting that there is going to be 3-4 guys in the top 10 tomorrow that are going to fucking absolutely catapult. I mean, they're just going to moonwalk like you've never seen. There will be a guy, I promise you, somebody who is in the top 10 will probably shoot at least a 5 over tomorrow. And hopefully they're 25-30% owned, and literally all those lineups will be dead because there's a decent chance he'll have a negative score or certainly be under 5 to 10 points, right? You're not winning any GPP with a guy scoring 5 to 10 points no matter what the weather is. So I think you got to be very careful to not just play guys who are starting up high, but get those guys that if they can go shoot a -1 or -2 tomorrow, I think you're going to see a guy move up into the top 5 who legit just makes 3 birdies and a bogey tomorrow, and he will catapult up because so many people will be moonwalking, and you'll get him at lower ownership. He will get you those points for the 3 birdies, which tomorrow I have a feeling is going to be quite the day. But more importantly, he's going to backdoor you those points at low ownership, and that'll be the nuts play, right? So you can't just think about where guys are starting. You also got to think when guys start moonwalking, how much could your guy move up, right? I actually think it will be easier to skyrocket up the leaderboard tomorrow than it would at a birdie fest. Because the problem at a birdie fest is, yes, you can go shoot a -9 or a -10. You can do that. But if everybody else is shooting a -6, it doesn't really move you up that much, does it? But tomorrow, if you shoot a -2 and everybody else is on average shooting -3s, that's going to +3s, that's going to catapult you up the leaderboard. So I encourage you to consider position points, but maybe not in the way that everybody else is, okay? For those position points, let's just look at them, right? First place is 13 points. I think you're definitely going to want to have the winner, right? So I think you go up and you got to come up with what you think the winning score is going to be, and then how many of those guys do you think can get there, right? If you think the winning score is going to be -13, well then, do you really think a guy at -6 could go shoot a -7 tomorrow and win this? Probably not, Bob. So you're going to have to find where's that cutoff where guys who could reach that target winning score that you have. And I think you're going to want to have a rule that you have at least 1 or 2 of those guys in every single lineup, because having that winner, having the guy that goes and gets this tournament tomorrow, who will probably have a solid round and then get those 13 bonus points, I think is going to be almost essential to taking down any GPP. So make those stands up top and really do it. And then for all these other position points, I mean, if you get up into the top 10, it really does add a nice little bonus to your score. So I'm also going to be looking for those guys that are sitting at T23 and seeing which of these guys can go backdoor me, a 4th place tomorrow when he shoots that -2 or -3 round, right? Those are the guys I want because they're going to be so much lower owned than the guy who's already starting in 4th or 5th place. See what I'm talking about? So understand these position points. Understand that round 4 Showdown is different than all the other rounds because this is the only one where we factor in these position points. And it does add a layer of complexity to it. All right, so there you go. That is enough of the theory talk. Let's go look at some stats and let's maybe look at some guys that could be targets depending on what you're looking for. Because I ain't gonna give you a pick. Because let me tell you something, new guy. I don't give a shit who you play. Hey, you see this right here? This is called The Solver. It's the best optimizer out there. You see my name right there, Degenerate75? That's because I loan all my projections and my ownership into there, and then you can use those to make your player pool, and then you can make the best versions of your player pool using my projections and The Solver as your optimizer to make the best possible lineups. My game has went to another level since I've started using this. An optimizer will just make better lineups than you will as a human. Yes, if you give it junk, if you give it a really shitty player pool, if you put Podrick Harrington in your player pool, well, well, you're still going to lose because you're a dumbass, okay? But if you're smart and you can make good player pools, then it will make the best version of those, right? And you're probably thinking, hey, man, I enjoy your show, but I'm just a casual, all right? I can't afford all that. $25 a month. Not only does that get you the optimizer, that gets you all my projections and my ownership loaded in, so long as you use my little Showdown Hoedown page right here, okay? It will be in the description of this video. I encourage you to check it out. And don't forget, football is right around the corner, and for $39.99 a month, you can have my projections for college football, NFL, and PGA. Okay, let's get over to the stats. Let's look and see. I got to assume Rory, what did he, triple bogey the last hole or something? Dude, Terrell Hatton. I got takes on him. I got takes. What's Nick Taylor up to? Look at my boy Nick. Don't let me forget. I'm going to tell you about old Nick here in a minute. All right. So the first thing is what is the winning score going to be? You know, you're going to have to come up with that. If the course is going to play, let's say it gets crazy tomorrow and it plays 2 over par, I really think the winning score will probably be right around where it is right now. So probably in the 12 to 14 range, right? And you got to ask yourself, well, how many guys could get to that? And for me, I would say probably anybody who starts the round at -10 or better could probably get there, right? So that would be Benny Ann up. If you think it's going to be maybe not that bad, or even with the wind blowing crazy, it's still going to play around par. Well, if it's going to play around par, the winning score will probably be something like, probably -16 or something like that, right? You're going to have to determine that. Only you can predict that. And then once you determine that number, then you got to ask yourself the tougher question: how many guys can rally to get that number? If you think it's going to be -16, I don't see any way Benny Ann's going to get to -16 tomorrow, right? In brutal conditions, right? He could get there in good conditions, but not in tough conditions. If you think the winning score is going to be 12, 13, 14, I do think Benny Ann could get there in those rough conditions. He'll just need kind of a nuts type round to get there, right? So that would be an idea of how I would do my cutoff, all right? The next thing is how low am I willing to go for these guys? Well, I think that tomorrow, if you can get guys who can backdoor top 25, it gets you some really nice points. So right now, I imagine T25 will probably be around -6 or -7, right where we see it right now, right? And so what would it take for a guy to get to -6 or -7? Well, you got to remember, these guys are down at the bottom because they're not particularly playing well. So I would probably say anybody who's starting the round at probably -3 could probably still backdoor you a top 25, which will get you some nice points. They will have a good round if they're shooting a -3 in these conditions tomorrow. And the most important thing I could sell you on is they're going to be low owned. But please, new guy, do me this favor. Do not go play 4 or 5 of these guys in your lineups, all right? These guys in the -3, -4 range that you want to go backdoor you, I think you need maybe 1, at most 2 of these guys in your lineups, right? So much of what you're doing wrong at PGA DFS is you're not even thinking about your roster construction, right? You're just picking names that you like and just putting them together and not giving any idea to, does this lineup have the winner? Does this lineup have 2 guys who could backdoor me a top 5? Does this lineup have a low-owned guy who can go backdoor me that top 25? You're just fucking throwing names together and not giving any real thought. Think about what you want your roster to look like, right? If you're doing a single entry, you should just hand build it and be thoughtful about it. It adds a whole layer of complexity to it, a whole layer of enjoyment to it, and it makes it will improve your game dramatically, okay? From there, I always like to go look at who are those guys that had the nuts type rounds today. Eric Cole. By the way, Eric Cole on Sunday is a real thing. He decided to do it on Saturday. But him, JT Poston, Luke List, Maximilian Kiefer, these guys I take with a grain of salt, right? They all had ceiling type rounds today, right? Tom Hoagie, who I was for sure was broken. I don't want to necessarily trust those guys to go do it again. We saw what, 3 or 4 of those guys that had great rounds Friday. How'd they do for you today? Don't go chase really good rounds from these guys. Now, Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry, legitimate players, Scotty didn't really have a nuts type round, but guys like that, legitimate top level players, they can go post 2 in a row or 3 in a row, right? Tommy Fleetwood kind of feels like he's going to do the Sepp Straka from last week, right? Horrific round 1 and then just boat races the last 3 rounds and wins this, right? If I had to predict right now, based on what I saw from that loser piece of shit Rory, it really feels like somebody is going to boat race from behind and get this tournament. Who is that going to be? Well, I mean, only you can decide that. But people that would make a lot of sense would probably be like a Tommy Fleetwood, a Shane Lowry, of course, Scotty Scheffler, guys like that, right? But, only you can determine that. That's just some bullshit narrative I'm coming up with. I think the other thing you want to look at, or who are some guys that just absolutely shit the bed today, and any of them have any redeeming characteristics, right? Like Sam Burns, he could never do good tomorrow. Or he could. No, he lost 3 strokes on approach. He could never do good. Bro, he lost 2.5 of those on one hole when he got a case of the Hovlands and smashed it into the face, right? He is a perfect bounce back candidate, and I bet you he'll probably be something like 5% owned. Okay, Nikolai Højgaard, he was horrific today. Well, first of all, you should have never played that donkey dick coming off of a super hot round the day before, because they're not going to do it 2 days in a row, and so now no one's going to play him, and you go get right back on him, right? Corey Connors, Arrow Hatton, they were terrible today. They were. And no one, now you're going to get them at a discount tomorrow. You got to know that these guys coming off these bad rounds, or maybe they just spun their wheels. Like, I wouldn't even say Hatton had a bad round today. I'd say he spun his wheels. He had a very average to below average round, right? Wyndham Clark, guys like that. I think that those are the kind of guys that you're going to get a discounted ownership tomorrow because they spun their wheels and they're not really high up on the leaderboard, right? More importantly, they're also expensive. And so because of that, you're going to get them at crazy low ownership because people are going to spend their money on Scheffler and Rory and Fleetwood and guys like that tomorrow, right? No one's going to be spending their money on these pay-up options that are not starting in the top 10. All right, let's go look at some stats. I always like to look at ball striking. I don't think it's the end-all, be-all, but it's pretty useful, right? Tommy Fleetwood, of course, he ball struck today. Gary Woodland freaking losing the bogey-free round on the 18th hole with a 3-putt. If that's not the most Gary Woodland thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is, right? Luke List, man. The guy played incredible today. Hashtag sleepers. Who else? Man, Ben Taylor. Ben Taylor's one of those guys that can putt, and when there's guys like that, and I see that their approach is on, I tend to play them, right? I just need to see Denny McCarthy or Brennan Todd or Ben Taylor, guys like that. When their approach is on, I tend to play them because I just know they're going to be consistent putters over the long run, right? Benny Ann is a great bounce back candidate tomorrow. One of those guys who just really spun his wheels today, but if you watched him play, his ball striking was really good. He had a lot of birdie looks. So if you're a ball striking truther, I think he makes a lot of sense. Look at Nick Taylor getting in there with 7 birdies and a streak today. You mother father. I love that guy. Nick Taylor's definitely won me the most money in 2023. Love that man. Love the Canadians. Love the Canadians. God, he's been good to me this year. All right. Scotty Scheffler, I mean, he played like an asshole till those last few holes, and then he really finished strong. It kind of felt, I feel like if they would have played 36 today, he would have won this tournament by like 6 shots because he would have went out and shot like a 58 on his second 18. He really started cooking there on that back 9, especially at the end. He even had his Magic Beans putter rolling again. From there, let's go see. Who is just anybody sick off of approach? I'm telling you, man, Ben Taylor picking up 2.68, that's a thing. Oh, dear beer in the ocean, right? I mean, look at that, man. That's if there's one redeeming characteristic a guy could have that can lead to a good round the next day, it's approach, right? Sean Crocker, got to tell you, I saw him get off to a hot start today. I was like, who the hell is Sean Crocker? Never heard of that guy. Julian Brune, huh? All right. Of course, Nick Taylor. Dude, Cheesesteak Hoagie is an irons king, so if he gets those figured out, he could be legit. But I will warn you, Tom Hoagie in tough conditions, not really my thing, right? All right, anybody kill themselves off the tee but were otherwise good? Højgaard's great. Oh, Arrow Hatton. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in old Arrow. He seems like he could rally. Anybody else really, really good? Eric Cole. Wow, he lost off the – man, he was bad around the greens and off the tee and still had that good of a round. Impressive stuff, dude. Anybody else? JT Poston. Okay, but JT Poston's typically really bad off the tee, so I wouldn't assume that he's going to fix that. All right, Kurt Kitayama. I don't know what happened to him. He must have snapped all his irons in half like Tin Cup. Lastly, around the greens, anybody really stick out? Was bad there. Scotty. This is Julian Brune. Zia. Wait, no, he's not German. He's French. I don't know. The Oompa Loompa. There you go. Give me some Ryan Fox luck sacking with the putter to let the Donkey Dicks get their luck tomorrow. Who else do we got? All right, there you go. That's some stats to look at. Ultimately, the thing you should do is you should just come over to my website, DGen75.com, because I have the best community out there. I make sure it is the best community because I don't deal with assholeries. Okay, I just boot their asses. So if you've ever wanted to be part of a cool community that realizes that PGA DFS is fun, celebrates wins like all these guys this past week, wait until you see the one this next week. It's going to be insane. And I have the best tool in all of PGA DFS called the Rosetta Stone. If you look and you see, if you just go look at leaderboards and you'll see my little Showdown, Hoedown flag everywhere, right? And you're like, why the hell your guys always top the leaderboard? Well, you're using this. I'm not giving them any picks, right? They go look at the Rosetta Stone. Let's just go look. This is the one from last night, right? You go right here, and here's Nick Taylor, 7,100. He was marked as a sleeper. He was marked as a high upside play. He was marked as an Ori Cook guy. His true approach was 58%, which is bonkers good. His true approach was a full stroke. He was A+ for a short game regression. He was an A for bad round regression, and he was an A historical round 3. I don't know if I've ever seen the stone point to a stud more than it was pointing to Nick Taylor. And I don't want to say he broke the slate today, but he damn near broke the slate. He was certainly going to be in an optimal lineup today, right? 7 birdies with a streak, Nick Taylor, right? Did I tell you got to play Nick Taylor tomorrow? I guarantee it. No, I give you this tool. You derive from it what you want. Make your own lineups, right? Hey, let's get to the drawings. But before we do, here are these 4 really good guys that are round 4 scores. Nick Taylor, Sam Burns, Eric Cole, Kurt Kitayama. All right, didn't see that one coming. I mean, Kurt's the ultimate bounce back tomorrow, right? He could never do good tomorrow. What is it, guy in the back? What is it? No, he could. Jesus. So there you go. Something to consider. What I'd be doing tomorrow, I'm going to be all over these lines the second they come out. Let's see. Pick'ems. I doubt they have PGA out yet. The round just ended, right? Yeah. So when they do, if I see numbers like 68 or 69, I'm just going to smash the over on strokes, right? Shooting an even round par tomorrow is going to be a real score, right? So I'm going to be attacking the overs. I like the over on strokes more than I like the over on bogeys, right? However, if I do see like 2 bogeys or 2.5 bogeys, I'll still probably take the over on that. That's what I'm going to be doing, all right? Editor, real quick, draw me a name to build the lineup with me tonight. $100,000 up top tomorrow. I'd love to send you $50,000. Editor, let us know a name, and then I'll probably do another one. It is DFS Res the Goat. There you go, brother, me and you. Shoot me a DM, or if you're on the Discord, just DM me over there, right? If not, just do it on Twitter. All right, let's get to some questions. I want to get out of here by 8:40, so I'll answer questions for about the next 14 minutes. Let me warm up the esophagus. All right, answering questions. Make sure to get your question in there. We'll do one more drawing, editor. 8:38. 8:38. Tomorrow is breakfast at Wimbledon Day, and it's breakfast with the big guy. Are we having strawberries and cream tomorrow? I'm not having strawberries and cream. Sounds gross. I'll probably be having a waffle, maybe some chicken and waffle. You know what I'm saying? Hey, new guy, smash the like. Hey, new guy, I agree with him. There's 124 people in here, only 76. I know some people hate watch, but there ain't that many people hate watching. Big guy, you excited about the best ball final next week? I really am, Mike. I went and looked at my lineups, and I got 2 in the big one, right? So what? A 1 in 200 chance of winning the 100,000. I got 1 in the Albatross return. So what is that? 1 in 200 or 300 of winning the 50,000. So yeah, I'm excited. It's a great little sweat that I feel like I didn't even have to do anything, right? It's just a free roll. Captain Will Spinner, a.k.a. Hatton, big bounce. Hatton just screams as a bounce back candidate tomorrow, right? The reason I played him at round 2 Showdown is he just made a lot of sense to bounce back from round 1. Everybody plays him today. He sucks. Now you go play him tomorrow, right? And if he fucked your lineups today, you're like, I'm not playing him. He screwed me today. You're an idiot, and you'll never win at DFS. All in on Big Vic pin stocking tomorrow. I really do. I will tell you, Victor Hovland, of all the players in this field, and this is like such a bullshit Oklahoma State narrative. They're Fowler and Hovland being 2 Oklahoma State guys. I'm going to warn you, the wind comes sweeping down the plains here in Oklahoma, and they've played a lot of wind golf in their life. I don't think they're going to score necessarily well tomorrow, but I think they will be more comfortable in those conditions than a lot of other players will, right? Breakfast with a big guy. I like that. We should have called it that. Breakfast with a big guy. Is there only one player in the top 10 tomorrow reaching too much? I would probably do 2, Mike. I would probably be around 2. Yeah, unless you just for sure think that one of them's going to win, right? Like maybe you think Middle Earth is under attack tomorrow, and you just know Brian Harmon's going to be there to protect it. Then he could just be the one guy. So there you go. Morning, motherfather. What's up, Ricardo? What are you doing up so early? It's like 6:30 out on the West Coast, you weirdo. 3 people out of 10, too much? No, I think 3 is okay. I think 3 would be my limit. I'll have a rule for 2 or 3. I don't want to fall in love with guys in the top 10 because some of them are going to moonwalk and will literally kill. I mean, I'm just trying to look here. Who is a good example? Let's say a guy like Eric Cole is 32% owned tomorrow. There is at least a 25% chance Eric Cole will shoot a 5 over tomorrow. And all those 32% of lineups will be insta-dead, right? And that just seems like a calculated risk for me to take. I don't think you want to do that with everybody up here because obviously some of the guys in the top 10 are going to have good rounds. The key is avoiding those landmines. Today, I didn't necessarily hit all the nuts plays today, but I really avoided a lot of landmines today, right? I thought I avoided Scotty. I guess he ended up not being so much of a landmine. He probably ended up scoring about the same as Rory, I'd imagine. Good morning. Cold brews flowing? Dude, I ran out of cold brews about 5 in the morning. Talk about, don't tell me the big guy doesn't have struggles. Is Rory winning by 3 or 4 tomorrow? Well, I mean, if he luck sacks, probably 3. Fleetwood for the win. It kind of feels like it. It feels like we got Sepp Straka part 2. I kind of buying into this narrative, right? I just felt Fleetwood coming today. He was one of my more highly exposed plays today. Is Scotty going to win this? Man, I just worry about his putter. He kind of looked like he luck sacked some putts in there at the end. I don't know how sustainable that is, but if we get good Scotty tomorrow, he'll win this. There you go. If we have good Scotty, yes, he will win. Hatton bounce back tomorrow. Faux show. Who is winning this, Maestro? Dude, I'll tell you this. Every round I keep writing off Tom Kim. And looking in his round today, he fucking sucked again and luck sacked. But, like, at some point I'd have to just say, the guy's going to fucking just get there as a luck sack, so maybe I should play him. I mean, he makes every putt. And he's not even a good putter. That's what's annoying. Who is the week-long donkey chalk that breaks the slate tomorrow? The Oompa Loompa. I don't like the sound of it. Oompa Loompa. Ryan Fox. Okay. Is Nick Taylor a god? In my religion, he is. Hatton, or he could, definitely. Scotty's putter back? I mean, it didn't look very back on the front 9. And don't forget, he also missed an 8-footer on number 16, or I think he would have finished with 4 straight birdies, right? So it's not like he was making everything coming home. He still missed a 50-50 putt on 16. Good morning. Is there anything we're taking away from this tournament to apply to next week's Open Championship? I mean, I think I'm gonna derive a lot from what I see tomorrow, right? I want to see guys who can really grind if the conditions get tough. I'll take something from that. And I will tell you, Tom Kim does seem to be a legit Link style player. Who, by the way, he's on my TV right now. They're doing Thomas the Train. Very weird. How many ranch waters should I have today? Well, I mean, if you're like me and you have had no sleep, I would encourage none. But if you feel rejuvenated and fresh, go for 3 or 4. That's a good sweet spot for me. Anything over 4, I get pretty sloppy. Is the Hobbit in play tomorrow? Absolutely. Absolutely. How many of the top 10 guys do I need? I would have like maybe 5 or 6 in your pool, depending on how many lineups you're doing, and then have a rule to maybe put 2 or 3 into every lineup. Best player in windy conditions. I guess I can look that up real quick. I'll do that for you. Let's go back over here. Problem is I don't know how good this really measures it, right? Because I don't know if this is measuring it for the whole round. I heard Pat Mayo actually talk about this yesterday. So let's look at windy as fuck over 50 rounds, and let's see who is number 1. Shane Lowry. That kind of makes sense, right? Kind of makes sense. Ricky is number 7, and Victor is number 1 in my heart. All right. Who does the bankroll want to win, and who does the fan in you want to win? Oh, man, what a good question. Well, I guess the bankroll side of me wants Luke List to win because he's like 0.7% owned in the single entry that I have in my 6 of 6 in. So, I mean, that's not going to happen. So I guess Scotty Scheffler would probably help me the most if he could win. And then for my heart, who do I want to win? Well, definitely not fucking Rory. I guess my heart would probably want – I'm kind of getting tired of Fleetwood getting shit on. Let's see if Fleetwood win finally. Wyndham Clark, my best, killed my best lineup, Manana. Again, Manana, man, he started out good today. He was like 3 under through 10, I think. And then something's off with him. I think we're going to see a little Wyndham Clark regression, not because he's really not, regress as a player, but just I think that there's just a little bit of like a comeback down to earth after winning the U.S. Open, right? That was above his pay grade, right? He was not that caliber of a player yet. Victor Hovland smash play tomorrow. I mean, Victor chasing from behind in the wind. You don't have to sell me too hard on it, bro Cephas. Fading Rory tomorrow. I mean, honestly, I kind of want to play him just to mush him. I did a pretty good job at it today. But, God, that guy, I'm telling you, he looks so good for 2 days. But this is what I've always known about Rory. He cannot put 4 rounds together. That's why I always call him a loser. Might be round 4 with only 5 single entry and the DGen 3 max. There you go. Go get in my contest. Go reserve your spots right now and drop a like, new guy. We're not even to 100 likes. With the carnage weather tomorrow, are more likely to play guys coming off of good rounds. Not necessarily. I mean, I get that logic because you want them feeling confident if the conditions are tough, but I'm not going to give this last round score much consideration. I will give this last round stats more consideration, if that makes sense. I'd rather see a guy who had an average round today that was ball striking than somebody like Tom Kim who had a good round but just did it all with his fucking luck sack putter. Luke List in my 1-6 of 6. What could go wrong? Well, he did us pretty well today, Mike. He did. I mean, like, if he's not very high owned at week long, so hopefully he goes ape shit for us tomorrow. How did you? Man, I played so good. My golf round yesterday, Jake. It was legit the best I've ever played. It was so much fun. It was just over every. I was just playing so good. It was crazy. Everything. I didn't even keep score. I was just playing so good. 3 birdies in 15 holes. That's pretty good for me. Oh, missed my first eagle by 2 inches. Almost dunked it. And then it rolled out to about 4 feet, and I missed the putt. Only short putt I missed all day too. Tomorrow going to be fun. Golf, Jesus, Rory, Mega Chalk. Yes, he will be. Rory, Tom Kim, Fleetwood, Scheffler will all be Mega Chalk tomorrow. All right, Steven says, is the weather going to make it harder for someone to make a run? No, Steven and I talked about that. I think it'll make it easier for somebody to make a run because it's not just going to be about them moving up. There's going to be a lot of guys moonwalking mañana. Can you fade Rory and Scotty tomorrow? Absolutely. But then I'd ask you this. If you're fading both those guys in the top 10, who are you playing, sister? We'll blend right in with those wind speeds. Rick, oh yeah, I get it because he's orange. Well played, sir. What are some good scores and winning conditions? Already looked at it. Backdoors a solo second. It really feels like that, Jason. He does feel like a guy that's gonna backdoor this big time tomorrow. Sorry, I'm late again, Brock. One punch of the nuts. But I had to wait to watch the lineups drop 1,000. Ugh, that sucks. I hope Nick Taylor didn't do it because Nick Taylor was like 6% owned in the big contest today, and our little Discord league, I think he was like 37% owned. People were on to Nick Taylor over in the DGen community, and I didn't even give him as a play because I don't give plays, new guy. That's what slapdicks need is picks. When do you Showdown determine where to start? Speaking for a single entry point of view, when doing single entry, how do you determine where to start? The winner. In a single entry, you're going to want to have the winner. So I go find the guy who I think is going to win the tournament, and I start my lineup around them, and then I build around that. If I think it's going to be Rory or Scotty, well, that's really going to change how my lineup's going to look because I'm going to spend so much money on those guys, right? Could someone from -7 or lower win this tournament with the weather tomorrow? I mean, yeah, there is a chance that somebody could shoot like a -5 and the course is playing really tough, but I wouldn't say that's likely. I think you're going to see more guys backdoor into that top 10. I think one of those leaders, one of those guys that are -11 or better, even if it's brutal out there, one of them will manage to shoot a -1 or -2, and it'll make it almost impossible to catch them for the win. Target more than 2 guys outside the top 40. I think you could do maybe up to 2. Up to 2 would be okay. I could support that. What is your favorite go-to brand of cold brew? Always Starbucks. The Starbucks one, I just enjoy it the most. Upsets the stomach the least. I don't know what the fuck that's about. First and second today, Ken. I don't think he's talking to me. First and second, got to figure out how to fly the flag. Ken, you simply reach out to @TheDegenEditor on Twitter, and he will send them to you. And if you fly the flag and you win a tournament, you get a shirt. Well, you got to be part of the Discord. I'm not going to give them to every Twitter slapdick. Which part of the player's game do you think is the most difficult and strong wins? Oh man, scrambling is really important because you're not going to hit many greens in regulation tomorrow, Jake. So I wouldn't mind scrambling. Let's see. I see Fear the Spice. Okay. Girls. How are the guys getting on DK app upload a new profile pic? Is it only changing for me to see it and not the public? Yeah, a lot of times what you got to do is just like force close the app or clear your cookies, and then it will show. You probably have it up, and other people can see it. It's just you can't because you haven't cleared your cookies. Okay, clear those cookies like the Cookie Monster would. What is a good core for a 3 max be? 3 or 4? I either do 3 in all 3 lineups, or I do 5 guys and make sure I have them in at least 2 of my lineups, right? I also do 5 guys when I'm hungry. Would you play more Euros with the wind? I don't buy that shit. The Euros aren't very good players. I mean, they're just not better than the American players on the whole. Preparation H on the whole. How about old Corey Connors tomorrow? Man, fuck that guy. I cannot believe I played him today. When I put him in my lineups, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I hate this guy. Editor, I got 8:38 if you want to do that drawing real quick while I answer a couple more questions. Thoughts on Kitayama? I mean, I don't mind him as a complete flyer. I wouldn't. He would probably be the only guy I would play from down there if I did that. Like, if I made a lineup and I want to play a punt, I wouldn't be putting Kitayama in a lineup with other punts. That's what I'm trying to say. Early morning DGen, more like late night, motherfather. Good morning. Let's fucking go. What is the main stat you look at when wins so crazy other than weather? I guess tomorrow I want to see ball striking and or guys who are good around the greens. Todd, congratulations, bro. You won. I'm going to answer 6 more questions, and then I'm out of here. How you feeling this morning, big guy? Tired as fuck. I am already dreaming about the dreams that I'm about to have when I take this nap. Will you be looking at good scramblers for Sunday? I will. Nick Taylor nuts again tomorrow. Nah, I don't know if I want to chase a ceiling Nick Taylor round. Driving distance or scrambling? I would go driving distance. Is Ben and the nuts? I think he's going to probably be a good low-owned option up there. Although, he'll probably be pretty pricey, right? If he's over 8,000, he'll be lower-owned. If he's in the 7,000s, people are just going to take his quote-unquote position points. What time you give out picks? Right around the time you shut your mouth, Nick. Are you going to go live tomorrow? If so, what time? I'm not. We're going to do that for the Open Championship next week. We'll have a Sunday sweat. Who are the round 4 early cash options? I'm not playing cash tomorrow, but the Stone will be out in a little bit if you want to check it out there. More Euro guys tomorrow? No. Pick'ems tomorrow? Already went over it. Did you guys get back up and watch round 3 with you? Did the guy in the? Oh no, he's still out. It's been a rough week for him, Travis. Favorite backdoor to a top 25? I'll give you a name. Wyndham Clark. Easy. All right. All right, guys, reach out to me. Do me a favor. Make sure to hit a like and subscribe. Go get in my freaking contest and come check out my website. I promise you won't regret it. It's the best community out there. Just look at this chat and look how awesome it is. Thank you for 131 of you motherfuckers being here on a Saturday morning. I dig the cut of your jib. All right, guys, I think that's it. Let's go win some money. Share those screenshots with me. I always love to see you guys doing well. Good luck. We'll see ya. Later today with my preview show, so be looking out for that. We'll talk to you later, motherfathers.